everything I do, I want to be the best, man. You talked about me playing basketball. That's since I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? I talked about my academics since I was a kid. The one thing that I've always wanted to do is be the best.
At everything.
If I'm willing to do it. Now I don't want to be the best at everything.
Yeah.
Some stuff I just don't care enough about. but some stuff I just don't care enough about. But if I am willing to invest time, energy, and effort into it, I want to be the best.
You want to be the best.
Whether it's my physique, my appearance, my business, as a husband, as a father, you name it. I want to be the best. And so and that's something I always tell young people, especially my kids, is you don't want to be too prideful, but you need to have pride.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like so many times pride gets such a negative connotation, and it's not that pride is a problem. It's just like with anything else. When you have too much of anything, it cannot be good, right?
Yeah.
But you got to have a certain amount of pride. And so I take pride in everything that I do, top to bottom, just like I told you with this. I had so much stuff. The last time we were supposed to link up, I had so much stuff going on. I said, man, I'm going to be dragging in there. I'm going to be tired. I'm not going to have the right energy. I ain't going to do it. I'd rather wait until I'm right to come in and do it.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Yall Aint Praying Podcast. I'm your host, Pastor Christopher Broom. Man, we got a good one for y'all today. Let me just roll off this here. Man, our guest today is a hard worker, a visionary, man of faith. He's a grinder. He's a goal setter, trend setter, business owner, entrepreneur, father, son, advocate, husband, mentor, motivational speaker, history maker, one of the top high school basketball players in the state of Tennessee in the early 2000s, had his jersey retired at the Militant High School in 2024, owner of not just Evan Taylor State Farm 1, but Evan Taylor State Farm 2 and Evan Taylor State Farm 3, becoming the first black man ever to establish 3 insurance agencies in the state of Tennessee. He is a Militant native and is engaged to be married. Evan graduated with honors from the University of Memphis with a bachelor's in business management and an MBA from the University of Phoenix. His agency has been the top producing office in the Memphis area and abroad since 2020. Elvin lives by the motto, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. Ladies and gentlemen, I am introducing to some and presenting to others none other than Elvin Taylor. What's up, my guy?
Man, that was humbling, bro. That was humbling, man. That's one of the best introductions I ever got, man. I appreciate
That's what's up.
I appreciate that, man. I want to first of all say thank you for having me, man. I know one of the things that you and I have discussed before is, just before we started, is if you're gonna do something, do it right. And all the time and effort that you put into your podcast to invite me as a guest, right? I know that's a privilege for me, and so I don't take it lightly. And so that's why when I was talking to you, I was like, I want to make sure it's the right time. I want to make sure I got the right energy. I want to make sure I'm prepared because I wanted to bring my best. So I'm here.
Sure. I appreciate that, bro, because speaking of that, you are one of the people that's literally not just like, people use this word loosely, but one of the most successful people in the history of Memphis and the state of Tennessee. And let's not hide the fact, yes, he's a black man. Let's not hide the fact, yes, he ain't young, but he ain't old. He been doing this since he was a young man. He didn't wait till he was, 50 or 60. Right. You did this starting in your 20s, man.
Right.
Setting that goal high, probably earlier than that because you was playing basketball and what successful that is. Sure. And we'll get into that a little bit, but the goal of me saying all this is I wanted to highlight people in our area that's making history in the 901 because for sure, had you turned out to be a thug, right, had you turned out to be a criminal, right, we was gonna hear about that.
It would be highlighted. And even aside from that, I think the other thing is even as successful as I've been imperfect in my life. And what you'll find is any story that you can find of a man being imperfect is always going to ring louder than his success. And so I think that's something else that we have to do a better job of is, taking each man for what he is, right? And then to your point, making sure that we're highlighting the successes, especially of black men, because to your point, had I been a criminal, everybody in the world would know about it and everybody would want to talk about it, right? So I think it's important. Yep.
Yeah. So look, before we get into it, we're going to play a quick little game. I didn't tell you we were going to play this game because I like to shock everybody with it.
Okay.
It's called Y'all Ain't Praying or They Playing.
All right.
All right. If it's something you agree with, they praying.
Okay.
If it's something you don't agree with or you don't rock with, they playing.
All right.
That's simple.
They
You agree with it,
they
praying.
They playing. Okay.
You disagree with it, they playing.
I got you.
Come on, man. Fish and spaghetti. Do you eat it together?
Oh, absolutely. So that's y'all praying, right?
That's y'all
praying. Y'all praying. It's funny you mentioned it because me and my fiance, we just had this conversation because she's from Tampa. So she hasn't had, right. And so we're like, absolutely that goes together. She's like, no, that's the side. I'm like, no, fish and spaghetti is, and she had it together. She's like, yeah, I like it. I'm like, no, you love it. Like it goes together. Y'all praying.
So is she more so I like it, but it still don't go together? Or I like it and now I know it goes together?
She knows it goes together, but stuck in our ways. You know how that go. Stuck in our ways. You know how that go. But yeah, absolutely. Y'all praying. Y'all praying.
All right, so they praying with that. Food touching when you eat, man.
Y'all praying.
Oh, man.
Y'all praying. Y'all praying.
You got to separate this, man.
Y'all praying, man. Y'all praying. Y'all praying. I mean, now, it's certain things you don't want to touch. But like if I got my meat, my veggie, and maybe some rice or some potatoes, all that, sometimes I'm gonna run all that together.
Oh,
with one fork. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
absolutely.
bro. So you letting the mac and cheese touch the greens?
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
Absolutely.
Come on, bro. You playing, man.
Tastes better. Tastes better like that sometimes. Tastes better.
You playing, bro. All right. Okay, man. We got two more. More kids.
Oh, y'all playing. That's over with. It's over with. It's over with.
Bro,
I have ensured that I will not have any more biological children.
I got you.
I'm making sure that I won't. Yeah, I'm making sure that
y'all playing.
Yeah, we got 4 together. We don't do the step / bonus. We got 17, 16, 12, and 11.
Yeah.
That's enough.
I got you.
That's
enough.
That's
enough.
Yeah.
That's enough.
We at the age now where the baby, she can stay at home by herself when we want to go out and do our thing. And that's a blessing in itself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we good.
I got you. Okay, cool. That's what's up. Last one. I know you're going to rock with this one. MJ or LeBron is your GOAT, playing or praying as MJ the GOAT?
Y'all praying. MJ's my GOAT. I get into a lot of debates with people about MJ and Bron though, because for me, LeBron is 2. And out of all the people who've played basketball, forget just the NBA, in the world, college basketball, et cetera, for you to be the number 2 or top 5 player of all time, whatever you want to call him, you can't, it's tough to down a guy like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I feel like the conversations get convoluted because in order to lift up one, you have to put down the other. And I don't think you have to do that. So MJ is my GOAT. I grew up on MJ. MJ was just different. But Bron's different too. Make no mistake about it.
Yeah.
So
2 things. I think Jordan explained it best. You have GOATs of eras.
Facts.
And then Charles Barkley explained it best to give both their credit. Jordan is the greatest basketball player of all time. LeBron is the greatest sports story of all time.
I can see that.
When I heard that, I said you give both their credit that way.
I can see that for sure.
Neither one is 1 or 2. But personally, MJ is my GOAT. Kobe is number 2.
Okay.
But generally speaking, LeBron is number 2 in my opinion.
Right.
But personally, it's Kobe.
Right. Who you like?
Yeah.
Who you like?
It's been who you
That's
like.
fair. That's
All
fair.
right. So playing or praying? Praying?
Praying. Oh yeah.
Okay, I got
MJ
you,
to
for
go.
sure.
MJ to go.
For sure. I just like to do that little game, just kind of loosen us up a little
I like
bit.
that. I like that. I like that.
For sure. All right, man. Let's hop from the people see you on social media. 3 Elvin Taylor State Farm.
Right.
History maker. But that ain't where it started, man. I think so often, especially in today's era, we want microwave success. microwavable success. We want everything right now. We want a 30-second video to explain everything. Right. We want, a one-sentence tweet. Right. It's all instant now. Where did it start for you, bro?
Ooh. So when you talk about starting, and you got to go all the way back to preschool for me. That's where my parents and my aunt, shout out to my aunt Charlene, and I always shout out these people. I got my two parents. I got my third parent, my aunt Charlene. I have my great-grandmother who's gone on, and I have my grandmother. Those are the two houses that I spent the most time between. And the one thing that my parents and those other ladies that helped raise me always taught me was to prioritize. And so there's a picture that I love to this day. It's a picture of me and my little sister, who's technically, biologically, she's my little cousin, but we grew up like brother and sister. So nevertheless, there's a picture of me sitting on the porch. She's in like preschool, I'm in elementary school. There's a picture of me sitting on the porch with my notebook out after school doing my homework, and she's just kind of over my shoulder. But when I got home, the very first thing, not the second, not the third, I could get a snack. It's the best I could do. Walk in the house, get a snack, and I had to get straight to work. I couldn't watch TV. I couldn't ride my bike. Other kids were playing whatever they were doing right now. I could go on the porch and watch the other kids play, but that work had to be done. It was so serious to where, and ironically enough, the minister, who's a big brother figure of mine, the minister that's marrying me, his mother worked at the school, which was right next door to my grandmother's house. And oftentimes, well, not oftentimes, but probably once or twice a year, I would forget a homework assignment at school or a book or something. It'd be 7 or 8 o'clock at night. My mom is calling up there to the school for them to let me back into the school to get my work. It was that serious. And so what that taught me is that, and that's why I'm so big on kids learning those lessons as they grow up, because now that I've gotten to this point, I don't do anything until I've conducted my business first. My business is first. Do I love to go out and have a good time? Absolutely. Do I love to kick it? Do I love to play video games in my free time? Am I going to work out? Absolutely. But I'm not going to do those things until my business is handled. And I just think it started with those principles. In addition, if I didn't make honor roll, at least honor roll, I couldn't play sports. I couldn't do the extra stuff, right? And that was a habit that was, ever since Yay High. So I think that's where it really, really started for me. I wouldn't say that's where Elvin Taylor State Farm started, but I will say that's where Elvin Taylor, the man, started, and, my foundational principles.
Yeah. So man, because I know you will get off social media in a second and be off for 6 months until you meet your goal. Yeah.
Yep. And I still, and yeah. I'm not on it now. And like I told you before, I probably won't get back on it on a personal level, and that's just a personal decision. But I saw somebody, I see people on social media cracking jokes about people that get off social media and, oh, y'all got off social media thinking y'all were doing this, that, or third. And ironically enough, I haven't seen a lot of those people accomplish big things either, right? Because everything comes with a cost. That's what I think everybody they don't process that. Everything comes with a cost. For example, you and I, we talked about working out and exercising. Well, if you're going to work out, then that means that you've got to give up some time and go to the gym. That's a cost. If you want to get in shape, that means you're going to have to give up certain foods. That's a cost. And so even sometimes with social media, when you're spending an hour and a half, 2 hours extra a day scrolling, what if you take that hour, right, per day that you're scrolling, put it into something more productive, multiply that by 6 months. How many days, how many hours is that? I get so much done. I'm so much more laser focused. A lot of distractions, right? A lot of those are real distractions, right? We ain't got a lot of those things. I'm able to better eliminate, and I think I'm becoming a much better man because of it.
Yeah. Wow. Man, there's a scripture, and I ain't gonna make this religious, but there's a scripture that says, if your left hand offends you, cut it off. It's not talking literally.
That's real.
It's talking that thing that is keeping you from progressing. That's real. Thing that is keeping you from being who God created you to be. Cut it off.
And everybody doesn't have, and so everybody doesn't have the discipline to do that. And some people just don't want to do it because so many people, when I talk about greatness, I talk about the bell curve. And when you look at the bell curve, most people are average right there in the middle. And so when you talk about being great, you're going to have to do things that most people aren't doing.
Just ain't doing.
So I'm okay with being in a room and being the only person who thinks like I think. It's lonely sometimes, right? Quite frankly, it can be offensive to other people, but I understand that, just like we finished talking about LeBron and MJ and Kobe, they've offended people. Every time you turn around, they're offending people. Their greatness offends people. The way that they operate offends people. And while you want to be liked, I think everybody has that. Everybody wants to be liked. If you're going to be great, you have to accept the fact that everybody just ain't going to like you, and most people ain't going to agree with you. That's it.
Wow. That's what's up, bro. Yeah. Starts as a child, those principles of you get out of school, there is no playing in the streets, none of that. Come home, get that homework done. Those principles have carried you through your teen years, through your adult years. When I go to schools, and I'm asking 5-year-olds, what do you want to be? Some of them saying firefighters, police officers, blah, blah, blah. They get older, they may become a Walmart, employee, or they may become somebody working at Taco Bell.
Right.
Whatever that is, and I'm not degrading those jobs. I'm just saying they didn't become what they set out to become. What was that for you when you were 5, 6? What was your dream?
Ooh, 5, 6. I can't really remember. I can't remember that far back as it pertains to what I wanted to be.
Just in your youth, what did you?
In my youth, I wanted to be an attorney. I wanted to be a criminal defense attorney. In fact, before I selected, as a part of the process of selecting a college, I wanted to know about their pre-law program and how I could get into legal. This is what changed it. I got my first speeding ticket after my senior year of high school, going into my freshman year of college. So I had to go to 201 Poplar to pay that ticket. That's my first time ever walking in 201 Poplar's doors. I didn't want to be an attorney after that. Literally, that summer, I walked into 201. I looked around. For me, it was depressing. And again, to your point, no knock, because somebody has to do this job.
Somebody got to do that, yeah.
But I realized, just like being a mortician, it ain't for me, right? It's for somebody, it ain't for me. The dark, the gloomy, sort of the energy, right, that's in the room. I knew that it wasn't for me in the life that I wanted to live. So.
And you were how old at this time?
18.
18.
Yep.
That reminds me, I tell this story often. My cousin's boyfriend invited me to come do construction with him.
Okay.
I go do construction. I got on my, my little clothes that construction working people have to have. Man, it was hot. I put that hard hat on. He told me go over there and grab them bricks. I picked them bricks up and put them right back down and walked off the job. That's the quickest job in the history of America.
It'd be like that.
I didn't last 2 minutes, bro.
You knew it wasn't for you.
I was done. I said,
it wasn't for you.
If God created me to do anything, it was not to be a construction worker.
Yeah, I agree.
If you told me, and I'm serious heart attack, if you told me I would pay you $100,000 a day to do that job, I would know.
Right.
No.
I may have to adjust for $100K a day.
Now, I can't do it.
But I feel you though. I feel you. I feel
do it, bro.
I feel you.
Nothing about that is appealing.
Right.
It kills your spirit.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Because my thing is, if God really created me to be anything, He's gonna create me to do what I love to do and make some pretty good money.
Right. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
That's how I always view life. That's why I've never had a problem walking off any job.
That's fair. That's fair. And I can't disagree. I can't disagree. I know construction wouldn't be for me, man. My dad, he always told me growing up, he was like, man, you're going to have to find you a sit-down job. Because he used to always say, man, you got all the book sense in the world, boy. But you ain't got no common sense. That's what he always tell me. Obviously, I got plenty of common sense these days. But as a kid, I would do, my uncle, ironically enough, he called me can't get right. And so it would be little stuff that I would do around the yard, whether it was yard work, washing the cars or something. My dad would come and he'd teach me something, and he'd be like, boy, do you think you should have did this? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. He'd be like, man, you need to find you a desk job. You don't need to do no job like this. And I didn't. Yeah. I didn't.
Wow. So. What is success to you, bro?
Continuous improvement. We talk about this often in my offices, continuous improvement. If you come to me today and you're at 15% of your goal, it's okay. It's okay. We can work with that. But are you willing to go to 25% tomorrow? Are you willing to go to 30% the next day? As long as you're continually progressing, you're successful, right? I don't think you can. I think where people get misconstrued is, when they start to compare, when they look at success based on what someone else is doing, right? So like we talked about working out, or we talk about sports, or whatever the case may be. If I come into the gym today and I'm lifting 185 and you're lifting 225, but tomorrow you're still lifting 225 and I come in and I'm lifting 200, that doesn't mean that you're more successful than me. I've been more successful because the time that we've been in here, I've made up more ground. So for me, it's all about continuous improvement. As long as you're continuously improving, continuously evolving, whether it's to be a better man, be a better professional, or whatever the case may be, you're successful. Yeah. That's me.
Yeah, that's a close one to Earl Nightingale as well.
Okay.
He basically says, if you set out to do a thing and you begin to take steps in that direction, immediately you're successful as long as you keep moving in that direction. Immediately.
Yep.
From the first step.
Yep.
That's different than most people because they think success is getting the $1 million. No, it's the journey to the $1 million.
There you go.
Because if you get $1 million and lose it, that's even worse.
It is. My dad, it's ironic you mentioned that because, I come from a lot of hard work in my previous life. And I work harder now than I ever have, but it was different hard work, right? It was working where I felt underappreciated, working all different types of hours and all different things like that, working in warehouses, those types of things. But anyway, one day my dad, he was talking to me about something. He was talking to me just about staying away from certain people, right? And he said, all right, I'm gonna just go ahead and break it down for you. He was beating around the bush. He said, look, it would be a shame for you to lose everything you work for and have to go back to living the way you were living before. So you need to think twice about the people that you're around. Ouch. The NBA players that we see and these athletes we see who have lost everything, they were better off mentally before they got it. But now that they've lost it, it's like I had it. And that is a huge, and I know I'm going off topic, but that is a huge fear of mine. And that is one of the reasons why I'm so cautious about who I deal with, how, like, I'm not a hermit these days, but I really, really try my best the older I get to just stay out of the way, man.
Stay out of the way, bro. It just don't make sense for you to work that hard. Man, do you know how many people will point the finger at you for being the owner of 3 insurance agencies? And you fell off like that?
I got a better one for you. How many people want to see it happen?
How many people want to see it happen?
That's the problem.
Can't wait to see it happen.
Can't wait to see it happen. I can't give them that satisfaction.
You can't do it.
If there's anything I have to say about it, I can't give them that satisfaction. I'm going to do everything in my power not to.
You can't do it, bro. That's why any rumor I hear about me, it don't mess with me. If I know it's not true, it don't mess with me. I just have to do my job to make sure I don't prove the rumor true. Right. I don't prove who want to see that.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? People looking at you, bro. I'm telling you, man. Like, I rock with you, bro. Like, for real. I have you come and speak to my young men.
Right. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I've had you on another, little podcast I did. I don't know if you remember that. In 2021, I had you on, you and another young lady.
I'm trying to remember.
You did it from your home. This was during the COVID season.
Okay.
We was kind of still shut down.
Okay.
You were actually my first guest on that podcast.
What industry was she in?
It's called the Chris Broom Live, and she was in the, I want to say, I don't think insurance.
Vaguely.
Yeah, she was light skinned though.
Okay.
Lynn Williams.
Oh yeah, Lynn Williams. Yeah.
My internet was messing up that day. We had to go live from her page.
Yeah, she used to work at the bank.
Yeah.
We go way back. Me and her go way back.
So I've been rocking with you, man, following your story. And it's like, man, this dude been solid, man. He been solid in terms of how he operates, solid in terms of the truth he speaks.
For sure.
Holding people accountable. You know what I'm saying? Holding yourself accountable.
For sure.
That's the stuff I think we missing in our culture too, man. Is holding ourselves accountable, but then holding other people accountable, to the standard we set for ourselves. I require greatness from myself. You can't be around me if you ain't willing to at least try to get to that level.
Yep.
That's what I admire about you too, bro.
Yep. Everybody doesn't fit. Everybody, it doesn't make one person right or wrong. because there is no blueprint to life. But some people just don't fit your journey. And, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's okay. You may fit somebody else's journey, but you may not fit mine and vice versa. And I think that's okay.
Wow, I got you. Oh, okay, so you got 3 Elvin Taylor State Farm.
Yep.
Soon to be husband. I introduced you as a husband because, you know.
I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm there.
But husband, 3 Elvin Taylor State Farm. Father, entrepreneur. I also read that you've given, you know, countless of donations to different entities. So that makes you a philanthropist.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You got all these things going. How do you find balance, bro?
Prioritization. My high school basketball coach used to always say, God, family, school, then basketball. And obviously there is no basketball anymore, but there's still God, family. And so they all, that comes first. And I think when it comes to the business, understanding the purpose of the business, like without being able to provide for my family, right? Whether it's providing a good example, providing financially, providing that security, the business isn't as important if it doesn't feed this, right? So one of the things that I love the most is seeing my kids look at me with joy and say, you make me proud. Like one thing that my oldest daughter always says, she said, Dad, you stay making me proud. And I'm like, man, that's invaluable, right? And what that also does is it creates an opening for her to listen to me. It look like, you know, kids don't like to listen anyway, but it creates just a little crack in there for her to be like, Dad may know a little something. And that allows me to be able to pour into her and help her to become a better young lady. But just prioritization, right? I was talking to a friend of mine recently about date nights, right? And he was like, man, you know, it's tough for me and my lady to get out because of X, Y, and Z. I said, man, you got to figure out a way, right? Because you gotta feed that relationship, right? You can't become so business oriented that you don't feed your personal relationship. So prioritization, understand that every part of my life has its own time, right? Whether it's my exercise, I'm like my fiance knows, a couple hours a day plus my prep time, right? Because I'm gonna be at the gym close to a couple hours, but then I'm gonna drink my pre-workout. I'm gonna kind of meditate, play my game for a minute before I go. That's my daily routine. She knows that's a part of who I am. So I gotta have everything kind of blocked off. And so she also knows, my family knows when I'm in meetings, when I'm conducting business, my phone's away. It's like right now, my phone's behind here because I'm conducting business. Whatever it is, I'll get to it when I'm done, right? And I think that's important is prioritization. Going back to what I learned years ago.
I got you.
My family's at the top, so.
Wow. So let me, okay, balance is prioritization. Who you are now was prioritization.
Right.
How you operate now started early in your life with prioritizing things. So we got balancing is a matter of prioritization. We got how you operate is a matter of prioritization. So has anything ever threw your priorities off?
Absolutely. What has it? Being single, right? We now I've got this love story, right? I'm getting ready to get married to the woman of my dreams. I couldn't be more thrilled. But I've been a single man for the most part since I've began this journey, right? And we're not talking about relationships here. We're talking but even between relationships, I've been a single man. And you talk about being a single man with a pocket full of money, a number of time on your hands. Yeah, it can throw your priorities off. It can throw your priorities off. And that's where you have to, and even in your faults, you have to be able to be disciplined enough to know where you're grounded. I ain't gonna make this religious or spiritual either. But when you talk about us as humans steering away from the word of God or steering away from our core, we all steer away from the core of who we are at times. Like that's just a part of life. But are you man enough to self-correct? And I think that is one of the biggest things that I can give myself credit for is I may, but I always know my foundational principles, and I always know where home is, and I'm always coming back. And so, yes, my priorities have definitely been thrown off, but it's just a matter of, assessing, self-correcting, and getting back to the core.
Before it's too late.
Before it's too late.
Because I've noticed as well, most people don't mind self-correcting, but it's usually too late.
That ain't self-correcting though.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you why I feel that way.
Okay.
Because if something out of the way happens to correct you, you can self-correct or God can correct you.
Yeah, I got you.
And I've had situations where God has had to correct me.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that every time I've kept myself from, because sometimes it's been that backhand of God coming down on me to correct me. But and so that's where I think just a slight difference between self-correct. Self-correct is like, okay, keep going down this road. This is what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
God correcting you, keep walking down that road anyway, then he slap you, then you say, well, I gotta go back home now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
I got you.
I think that's one thing that's extremely important, especially for professionals who find themselves, like what I did was I was more professionally mature than I was mature as a man. My career was here. Maturity wise, I was still here. And so, I think that kind of knocked my priorities off at times.
And you don't have to say it if you don't want to. Do you think the money helped you kind of stop progressing a little bit as a man because you seeing what money can do, what it can get you to a degree?
At first, maybe a little bit, because when you start seeing, dollars that you ain't never seen, and that's why, some of the things that you mentioned that we led the territory in production since 2020, but we opened in 2016. Well, what happened between 2016 and 2020? Why weren't you doing that sooner? Now, some of it was just we needed to grow and all those things, but some of it was instead of having a Monday morning meeting like I should be having, I stayed out all night on Sunday, and I was supposed to have the meeting on Monday morning, and I canceled it because I could. So now it's to a point where like everybody know, like, oh, if we're supposed to have a meeting on this day, it's happening, and I'm gonna be there early, like because I'm prioritizing. My priorities aren't knocked out of whack anymore. Yeah. And I told somebody this recently. I was talking to a friend of mine. We were just talking about some of the things that we've done and some of the accomplishments we had. And I was joking, but I was serious. I said, man, imagine what I'm gonna be able to do now. I got a woman keeping me at the house. And I'm excited about that. I'm excited about what that is going to do for me to help keep me, a good woman to keep you safe from a lot of stuff.
I call it, it'll keep you boring.
Ain't it, man?
It'll keep you boring.
Man.
I just told somebody this the other day. He asked me, Bruno, what do you do when you get home? Actually, yesterday. I said, man, I have the most boring life ever. People hear the word bored and think you have no fun. No, bored means my life is as simple and out of the way as possible. Fun to me is with my family.
Yep.
That is it. With my family. Now, do I have other avenues of fun?
For sure.
Yes. But I'm saying the core of who I am is I'm at my best. I'm having the most fun when I'm with my wife and kids.
Love it. Yep. Likewise.
Boring.
Likewise.
A woman keeps you bored.
It ain't boring to me though.
No, right.
I know what you mean.
But I'm saying bored in terms of
to the world.
Yeah, simplicity.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I didn't travel this much until I got married.
Right.
I've never been to Disney World till I got married.
Yeah.
Never been to LA till I got married. But that's a fun boring.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm gonna tell you something, bro. I went to me and my fiance, we do a lot together. You know what I'm saying? Like I told you, I was telling my friend, like we always find time to do date nights and different things like that. Sometimes we've gotten dressed up at the house, like not dressed up, but like we just put like, hey, we finna go to the man cave. I call it Club E. Taylor. Yeah. We finna go put on some music. We'll have our wine. We're gonna vibe. We're gonna have a good time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I went to Vegas to speak at a conference about a month or two ago. And I'm literally, it was Fountain Blue. I stayed at Fountain Blue. I'm sitting at the bar at Fountain Blue and I'm drinking, and it's people all around having a good time and stuff like that. And I'm saying this in all seriousness. I hit her up and I said, man, it just ain't the same. Now, 10, 15 years ago, oh, that would have been right up my alley, right? But now the space that I'm at, I was like, it just ain't the same without you being here. You know what I'm saying? That's my partner. You know what I'm saying? So
it ain't the same.
Yeah, it ain't the same.
That's what's up. Now we spoke about your projects being thrown off, which brings about failures. What are your biggest failures?
I think from a business standpoint, my biggest failures started in 2020. Well, you say, well, wait, that's when you started to take off. Well, 2020, everything that we touched turned to gold. 2020, 2021, like it was like, there's nothing I can't do. So then I became arrogant. And I felt like everybody that I brought through those doors, I could make them into superstars. Instead of taking them for who they are, I said, oh, you come like this, I can make you into a superstar. You come like this, I can make you into a superstar. And it couldn't have been further from the truth. And I made some bad mistakes. I made hiring mistakes. And I tell a lot of people that I mentor and things like that this, I made hiring mistakes in 2021 that didn't reach its head and finally stopped hurting my business until this year. And man, it's so, the reason that I take accountability for it, even though I should have never had those people in office, the reason I take accountability for it is because I let them in. I let them into my business.
Did you see any red flags and you ignored them? Okay.
Arrogant. I can make you, I'm God. I can make you be great. Right? I can make you have a good attitude. You working with me, I'm gonna show you all the love. I'm gonna give you these bonuses, and I'm gonna give you an opportunity to open your own business too. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. You know, when you're hard on your luck, I'm gonna, maybe step in and pay for something for you. I'm gonna give you payday advances because to show you I'm gonna do all these things to change the person that you are. Instead of looking at you and saying, hey, you may be a great person, a great fit over there, but you're not the fit here for what I'm trying to do. And culturally, I didn't pay attention to my culture. It was all about the numbers. It's all about the numbers. Let's get the numbers, let's get the numbers. And right under my nose, culturally, we were failing. I had a lot of negative attitudes, a lot of people that were just my ops right in my face. And so I think that was one of my biggest failures. And that's one of the things that I try to pay the most attention to now. You don't have to be perfect. Maybe you're not even getting the numbers right now that we want you to get, but are you really with me? And if you really, and I got a team right now that I feel like is really, really with me. And I made a post on LinkedIn the other day and I shared it with them and I said, hey, I appreciate y'all because I'm sleeping better these nights. We're doing as good as we've ever done. And this is especially important where I'm getting ready for a marriage and get ready for my wedding. My head needs to be more clear. And so I'm thankful for that. But I think my biggest failure is just thinking that I'm Superman. Instead of, you take coaches. Take Coach K, right? Coach K is probably arguably the greatest college basketball coach ever. He's also had the best players. Coach Cal, best players. Yep. When we went to the championship, we had Derrick Rose.
Sure did.
We didn't have a slouch at point guard. And so I had gotten arrogant to the point to where I felt like I'm such a good coach. My right-hand man, Kenny, shout out to Kenny, who just got a promotion to be director of business development over my 3 offices. But that's been my right-hand man since number 1. He and I felt like we could just make anybody great. And that couldn't have been further from the truth. So,
wow.
That's probably my biggest failure.
Wow.
Sure.
Opposite of that, what has been your biggest successes or success?
I think walking into opening a State Farm, when I first opened my State Farm agency, just opening the office, just having my name on that sign was enough for me. Because I knew most people on the outside don't know the weight that opening a State Farm carries. Like the people that know. Opening a State Farm agency in itself is like, it's not easy. And they don't just let anybody walk in to open an office. It's very competitive, all that good stuff. So to be able to do that and to know that was going to change my family's life, that was enough for me. But then as time went on, to realize that I didn't have to play backseat. So in 2020, I'm going to tell you what happened. Well, what changed? Why have you only been leading territory in production since 2020? 2020, COVID hit. Everybody got nervous, myself included. I went to my team and said, all right, y'all, look, here's what's going on. We got a pandemic. I ain't never seen it. I don't know what's about to happen. We're going to stay safe. We're going to do this, that, the third, but our goals do not change. In fact, people need us more now than they did before, because now they're starting to understand the impact of not being prepared for the unknown, right? So all that being said, I said, we ain't making no excuses. I'm not accepting any excuses. If you want to make excuses, go work somewhere else. We took off. Other agencies were calling our office wondering, because we all can see each other's numbers, and they see us just shooting to the moon. Like, man, what y'all doing over there? Like, what are y'all doing that we ain't doing? We in the middle of a pandemic. I said, sit right there. We're in the middle of a pandemic. You're making an excuse. You're building in an excuse already. We've already eliminated that excuse. That's the only thing that we're doing different. And then once we got that confidence that we could be number one, not just the number one black agency, because we used to take a lot of pride in being the number one black agency. We used to wear that as a badge of honor. We're the number one black agency. We can't compete with the others, but we're the number one black agency. When we realized that it didn't matter the skin color, that we could be the number one agency, and we took off, we ain't looked back since then. And I don't want to go back there. And that's also something, when you talk about having the right people, you have a lot of people that are okay with mediocrity. In their interview, they're gonna say, hey, I want to be great. I want to do all these great things. I want to bust through,
Right.
And you can't get them to do the right things. You can't get them to do the things that will produce greatness, right? And that's where friction comes in. So I would say that 2020 moment, that I think that's been the defining moment in my career.
Wow.
Is when I said no excuses.
To people who don't understand insurance businesses, including myself, when you say we took off, you mean you took off in clientele? You took off in
yes. That's when we took off from a clientele standpoint. Our motto is doing to the policyholder as you would your mother, right? Doing to others as you would your own mother. And one of the reasons that I got into insurance, specifically State Farm, is because all we have to do is help people. There's no product that we're offering that you don't need, right? Like, we're not selling water to a well, ice to an Eskimo, or whatever the case may be. No,
Right.
We are legitimately putting people in situations where if you're off of work because you break your hand, we're going to step in and help you out. If your teenage child is driving and texting, which they shouldn't be, but they're driving and texting and they rear end somebody, we're going to make sure your car gets fixed, and we're going to make sure that person, that you don't lose your house by getting sued, that person that they hit, right? We're going to make for sure that when you pass away, your family's not looking around, like they're mourning your death, but they're not looking around to figure out how they're going to pay the bills. I've had multiple family members, and I want to insert this because I think this is so important, especially for our community. I have multiple stories where I could show you text messages and DMs of people talking to me about life insurance, and I'm coming. And on two separate occasions, very specific that I can remember, two young ladies, one of them was my cousin, one of them was a childhood friend. One died of an overdose suddenly, and one of them was killed by her husband. And they were coming. I'm coming. I promise. Kept putting off. 2-3 months down the road, you hop on social media. Hey, such died. What? She could have came in here and got this life insurance policy for $100 a month in 3 months, and her kids would have had $400,000 or $500,000. Instead, they selling fish plates just to bury her. And so, all that being said, when I say we took off from a productivity standpoint. We started helping more people than we ever helped, and that's what's made our business profitable. So.
But in the middle of a pandemic, how did you reach these people? Because we ain't outside.
That's the point. They're at home. They sitting down. That was exactly my mindset. They ain't outside. When they outside, that's when it's hard to get. Oh man, I'm at the bar, man. Oh man, we watched the game, man. And we got a play tonight. You got your butt at the house.
Yeah.
You ain't doing nothing but sitting around the house. So that was the perfect time, and people, a lot of people were not capitalizing
like
on it. They weren't thinking about that.
I could tell you saw the negative and literally saw a positive. Yeah, I got you.
Yep.
I got you. So, is it harder to make money or harder to keep it, man?
Both. I can't say one or the other. I'm gonna tell you why. It takes money to make money, but then you have to be careful what you're investing in, right? I had a young man in my office back in 2021, a part of the group that I was telling you about, a part of, some of those some of those decisions that I should have made. He said, I was having a conversation with him about a return on investment or something. I can't remember specifically, but he said, Elvin, why is everything always about money with you? Why is it about money? Da, 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 da. And this was at a time where I will admit I was much more confrontational with team members at the time, depending on what you said or depending on the day. If you came at me a certain way, you was going to get a certain energy back. But nevertheless, he said, why is everything about money with you? Why is everything about money? I said, I tell you what. Come to me, come to work tomorrow for free. That's the whole thing. Like, you're not coming here to work for free, and I'm not paying you for free, right? I need this is an investment. This is not, I'm not, and that unfortunately is where I fall off the wagon with quite a few people, because they feel like they're good enough to show up and you should just pay them. And that ain't it. If I'm paying you, I've already done the calculation in my head of what you need to produce to bring me a return on my investment. So when you're not bringing me a return on my investment, you're not good for the growth of my business. These are just facts. This isn't an opinion. This is just a fact. You're just not meeting the bottom line. So I think when it comes to making money or wait, what was it? Making or saving money?
Making money or keeping money.
Making money or keeping money. I don't think one trumps the other, but I will say this. When you make more money, you find your lifestyle changes. Most people, I don't care who you are, your lifestyle changes. And you say, oh, well, you look at certain things, you're like, oh man, I never spend that much money for no, you pay how much for them shoes? That's stupid. Then when you get enough money, you do the same thing. Oh yeah. I got a cousin, ironically, his name is Elvin. He's the only other Elvin. My oldest aunt, my Aunt Jan, named her only child after my dad before I was born. So his name is Elvin as well. But anyway, he used to talk about my shirts. He'd say, man, you wear them old tight shirts. You wear them tight shirts. He started working out. And we started working out. He started wearing tight shirts. Yep. And so I say all that to say, so many times we look at the way that other people live and different things that people spend money on. And, we don't realize that, if you start making more money, you start spending more money. And so I think that's the part that comes, when I talk to a lot of people, people reaching out to me, asking me for money, different things like that. I think people see your lifestyle as you've always got more money, right? Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, you may have more money, but from a percentage standpoint, that person's probably like, I used to drive a Honda Accord. I used to drive a Chrysler 300 at one point, right? Mm-hmm. Well, now when my lifestyle changes, I drive a different vehicle. I have a different house. I wear different types of clothes, right? And so I don't think one trumps the other, in my opinion, but I will say that they feed off of one another for sure. But it takes money to make money, but you got to be smart with your investments.
I got you, for sure. Okay. What's your biggest motivation, man? Biggest motivation. When you wake up in the morning now, what's the driving force behind your decision making?
Everything I do, I want to be the best, man. You talked about me playing basketball. That's since I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? I talked about my academics since I was a kid. The one thing that I've always wanted to do is be the best.
At everything.
If I'm willing to do it. Now, I don't want to be the best at everything. Yeah. Some stuff I just don't care enough about. But some stuff I just don't care enough about. But if I am willing to invest time, energy, and effort into it, I want to be the best.
You want to be the best.
Whether it's my physique, my appearance, my business, as a husband, as a father, you name it. I want to be the best. And so and that's something I always tell young people, especially my kids, is you don't want to be too prideful, but you need to have pride. Mm-hmm. Right? Like so many times pride gets such a negative connotation, and it's not that pride is a problem. It's just like with anything else. When you have too much of anything, it cannot be good, right? Yeah. But you got to have a certain amount of pride. And so I take pride in everything that I do, top to bottom, just like I told you with this. I had so much stuff. The last time we were supposed to link up, I had so much stuff going on. I said, man, I'm going to be dragging in there. I'm going to be tired. I'm not going to have the right energy. I ain't going to do it. I'd rather wait until I'm right to come in and do it. So
And that reminds me of somebody asking Kobe, or what they was asking him, how do he perceive people saying he's arrogant?
mm-hmm.
He was like, when it comes to basketball, I am.
Right.
When it comes to basketball, I think I'm the best to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, off the court, if you still want to take how you perceive me on the court, off the court, that's a different story.
Right.
I'm not arrogant with my wife.
Right.
I'm not arrogant with my family. Right. On this court,
right,
can't nobody mess with me.
They're different. Yep.
To that, what you say? Somebody may look at Elvin, nice car, nice physique, young, nice house, nice this. They may say he arrogant.
They do.
To that, you say what?
You don't know me. You don't know me. I think this is what's funny. When I worked, so I've worked a lot of different places. I've lived in cities where I didn't know anybody. It was tough on me at times, man. I dealt with depression, anxiety. Like I dealt with a lot, man. Like through my career before you get to this place, and only the people that really know me know the truth. But all that being said, I remember I had one pair of tennis shoes. I had a pair of Jordans. It's the only pair of tennis shoes outside of what I wore to the gym. It's the only pair of tennis shoes I had. And I would take pictures of different things. I would take pictures of my Chrysler 300. I would take pictures in maybe I got on an Express t-shirt or something, and I'd take a picture posing or whatever, just like everybody does on social media. No problem. No problem. Nobody says a word. No problem. You take that same picture. You put on a pair of Louis, you take it in front of a Porsche, now you showing off. That's your insecurity. That ain't mine. You don't know my journey. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know what I'm still going through. Because there's so many people, and I think this is so ironic because I have so many people, and I've had people who work for me who've said, oh, I want to do this. I want to open an agency. I want to do this, and the third. No, you want my car. You want my house. You want what you see on the outside, but you don't want to stay up till 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning working, right? You don't want to sacrifice family time, which has to be done. You don't want to sacrifice that to do this. You don't want to discipline yourself to learn from your mistakes because you want to keep living the same. And so the people who would call me arrogant, I would say, that's your opinion. You're entitled to it. I'm super confident. And you're not, and you calling me arrogant ain't gonna make me stop being confident, right? Because you would love nothing more than to see me not hold my head up high and be confident. And just like Prime said, you didn't make me, so you can't break me. Now, as it pertains to the word arrogant, those people don't know how much I help people. I help so many people. When I say I help a lot of people, like. And it's so ironic. There's one young lady in particular that I've been helping for a little time, and she wants to become an State Farm agency owner. She works out of town actually, and so I've helped her on multiple occasions, not looking for anything in return, just literally giving her feedback. She hasn't gotten her opportunity yet, and one of the things that that they told her may be a good idea is for her to work for a local agent. So where do you think she's coming soon? To work with us. Yeah. And I'm gonna show her the ropes. I'm gonna help prepare and all that good stuff. But I help so many people, man. And the people that know the works that I do for people, they would tell you, man, Elvin confident, man, that dude cocky. But man, he got the biggest heart you'll find, man. Yeah. And I had a friend. And I'll leave this one here. I got a friend who, a former friend, let me say that. He walked up to me one day and he said, man, I like them shoes, man. I like them shoes. I said, for real? Literally, at my house, took my shoes off. Man, you have. I knew he had some other stuff going on, stuff like that. That same former friend, he used to work up the street at a store, and he would be leaving that store, and he wouldn't have gas money to get home. He'd call me, I'd get in my car, drive up there, fill his tank up, go back home, whatever. But I took my shoes off my feet one day and gave it to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the type of person I am. I give people the shirt off my back, you know. But tell you something about Elvin Taylor. I give you the shirt off my back, I take it back if you disrespect me, though. Or I ask for it back if you get wrong with me. That's just who I am, man.
I like that watch, Evan. I like that watch.
I'm gonna have to keep this, man. I'm gonna have to keep this.
I like that Porsche, man.
I'm about to keep them, man. I'm about to keep them. But that, hey, that was a good shot.
I just thought I'd try.
Yeah, why not? You might as well. Closed mouths don't get fed.
That's what's up, man. Because when you came and spoke to my boys, man, I had about 20-some boys in there, man. You pay for all them cats to go on a field trip.
I don't even remember that.
Out your pocket, man.
I don't even remember that. Okay.
Yeah, man. You paid for all of them to go to the field trip for free.
That's what's up.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was an answer prayer of mine because most people don't know to do that camp. I was coming out of my own pocket.
Right.
And it was a beast, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
so any help I got was like, I wasn't asking for it.
For sure.
It was like, you know, man, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Because
that's love.
yeah, man, so, yeah, bro. That's what people don't understand, the behind the scenes stuff. And that's what I was looking for though. You see what this brother got, and you think that's arrogance. You didn't say nothing when he was staying in a 1-bedroom apartment in a half decent neighborhood or whatever that was. I'm not saying it's you, but basically I'm talking about a come up. You know what I'm saying?
Living with my parents.
Your whole process of coming up, man. They didn't see that, bruh.
Nope. And
they didn't
care.
see that.
They don't care.
And don't care. All you see is the blessings, but you don't even understand with these blessings. There's a lot of behind the scene BS that come with this, man.
With the blessings come a burden.
Every time. Listen,
burden.
Biggie say more money, more problems.
Yep. The blessings come a burden, man.
Now you got cousins you didn't know you had. You got. Listen, man. The Bible says the rich has many friends, but the poor is separated from his own neighbor. The rich has many friends, but the poor is separated from their own neighbor.
That's powerful.
When you was poor,
nobody. I mean, most people didn't have much to say about him.
They had much to say.
Wasn't nothing to say. It was just he's just like us. He's just a regular dude. Oh, you doing so? And I talked to my barber about this one day. Ironically enough, I was telling her, I was like, man, the thing is, like, when you hear, we can touch you, we can reach you. But if they see you soaring like an eagle, now we got to shoot you out the sky.
Yeah.
Because we got to bring you down. We got to remind you that this is where you are.
Yeah.
And really and truthfully, that ain't even where God don't even want you here. If he wanted you here, that's where you would be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know, I think one of the and God bless my mama. You know, man, my mom had first of all, my parents are two of the hardest working people I've ever met. My mom still works her butt off to this day. But my mom comes from very humble beginnings. You know, she'll tell you, you know, we used to use the bathroom outdoors, things like that. And I'm like, Mama, you know, I'm asking a story. She always shares these different stories with me and things like that. But I'm sharing it to say this. At times, because of the way people are, my mom is proud of me. I know my mom is immensely proud of me. But at times, my mother has at times, it's almost seemed like she has been ashamed to put my success on display. Because of the way that other people may think or perceive me. She knows where I come from. She knows my heart. She knows all these things. But she wants to dim it, you know, just to make them feel more comfortable. And we've had that conversation where I'm like, look, Mom, that ain't it. That ain't the move. That ain't even the God. That ain't even God-like, because God did, without God, none of this is possible. Yeah. So now you're not dimming. Now, like, you know, we may think we're dimming my light, but we really dimming God's light. You see what I'm saying?
Because who takes a candle and put it under a bush?
There you go.
Who
Makes
does
some
it?
sense.
I'm drawn to, this may not sound right, but I'm drawn to arrogance. I look at somebody like, that's what drew me to Kobe. Everybody was calling him arrogant. I was like, let me dig more into this dude's life.
Well, what's the definition of arrogant, though?
It's just, to me, it is the supreme level of knowing you're good at something.
Because I've always thought the difference between confidence and arrogance was more like a narcissist. And I've been called that.
I don't even know if that's arrogance, though.
And you know what? I had somebody call me a narcissist one time. They were like, "Oh, you know, you're a narcissist." I said, and at the time, when they called me a narcissist the first time, I didn't know what it meant. I ain't gonna lie. And this person wasn't as intelligent as me, so it irritated me that they were using words that I didn't know. So I went and did my research because I wanted to know what a narcissist was.
Right.
So I go do my research, and I'm like, a narcissist. I'm like, okay, this is a person who has an overinflated self-ego, right?
Yeah.
So the next time they called me a narcissist, I said, no, I'm not a narcissist. I said, I'm really that dude.
Yeah.
I don't have an overinflated ego.
Yeah.
I'm really that guy. So, yeah, I'm not a narcissist.
And a narcissist at the core is also an intentional manipulator.
There you go. That's
really what a narcissist is.
That's it.
It's an intentional manipulator.
That's it. You're right. You're right.
Arrogance is more so, I know this.
Mm-hmm.
I know who I am. I know what I do. Now, I'm not saying that all arrogance is good.
Right.
But I'm saying I'm drawn to arrogance like in a Kobe, in a Jordan, in somebody who just super confident in their ability to do something that they gonna not only say I'm good, I'm the best, I'm gonna kind of give you a little celebration at the end of it. Like T.O. knew he was so good. I'm gonna pre-plan this celebration.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm about to catch 3 touchdowns. Chad Ochocinco, I got what do you have in his sock?
Sharpie.
Yeah,
Sharpie.
Sharpie.
When they had the Sharpie, yeah.
That's arrogance, but I'm drawn to that though.
Yeah.
like I'm drawn to that level of confidence, bro.
That's that athlete. That's that athlete in us too.
I'm drawn. So would you say that is what at the core, and let's get into that. At the core, you may have a little arrogance, but ain't nothing wrong with that though.
I guess because I don't like the word. I would have to look up the definition because I've always distinguished arrogance because I felt like arrogant people were selfish. And I felt like that was the distinguishing factor between me, like being supremely confident. And because here's the thing, bro, man, people are looking for a reason to tear you down anyway.
True.
And so just like take a guy like Deion Sanders, right? He's one of those that I've been compared to and people call him arrogant, right?
Yeah.
But man, when you start giving people control over how you feel about yourself and your level of confidence, man, that gets sticky.
Very.
And a lot of people are walking around worried about what other people think and feel about them. And that's why they're not reaching their potential. I can't do that. I can't do that. I cannot allow and I've been through too much. That's the other thing. See, you don't know the fires that I've been through and the fires that I put out. That's why I'm confident. You think Mayweather wasn't arrogant arrogant in his first fight, second fight, third fight, fourth fight. But after a while, he like, man, I've been doing this for a minute.
I've been doing it for a minute.
Man, I've been knocking out life for a minute. Like the stuff that I've been through, like people have no clue some of the stuff that I have been through. I remember, I posted a picture on social media. I love this picture. I always go back to it. It's a picture of me and my daughter. When I first moved to New Jersey, I was broke, man. I had a roommate. I was broke. But I came down to Texas to visit my daughter. And we stayed at this very humble hotel. Like it was, it was cool enough. And I remember just looking at my daughter and being like, I don't know how I'm gonna pay my bills when I get home. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't know that you're going through those types of things.
That you went through that.
Yeah, I'm human just like you. But that's also what I use to tell people, man, ain't nothing you can't accomplish.
Yeah.
Nothing you can't accomplish.
See, but if you mentioned selfish though, but I got a new definition of being selfish. There's nothing wrong with being selfish if the intent is to produce selflessness.
Okay.
So you have to be selfish. Not to make this religious again, but the Bible does say Jesus woke up early in the morning to go pray by himself. That is selfish. But the intent behind him praying by himself, look at what he did the night before.
Right.
He poured into thousands of people.
Right.
So I need this selfish time.
That's fair.
I need this. In fact, not only need this, I'm going to get it.
Right. That's fair.
Leave me alone.
That's fair. That's fair.
Because I need this. If you want these healings, if you want these prayers, if you want me to feed 5,000,
right,
give me my prayer time.
Right. That's fair.
I can do the healings, but I can't do it if I don't have something to pour back into me.
Right.
You gotta be selfish to a degree, bro.
Everybody has to be selfish to a degree. Right.
So I don't think something is wrong with being selfish if the intent is to always serve you.
Moderation.
But if the intent
Moderation.
is to be selfish, to be selfless,
Right.
you can't do that without being selfish.
Right.
It's impossible.
Right. Right. Right.
Hence, when I'm in my meetings, leave me alone. My phone is over here.
Facts.
Because I'm just saying, for example, I can't take you to Aruba.
Right.
If I ain't in these meetings.
Nope. And that's
leave me alone.
a part of it.
That's a part of it.
That's why when you talked about prioritization, I'm like, these feed like my fiance knows, like this feeds this. So, absolutely.
Leave me alone. And that ain't arrogant, but somebody who is
job,
not understanding who you are, they may say this arrogant. That's why I say I'm okay with that. Because you don't understand behind the scenes the selflessness that I'm doing.
Man, everybody, I don't care what you do. Everybody gonna have something to say about it.
Yeah. Yep.
Everybody. I don't care if you don't take time to yourself, somebody's gonna have something to say
They're
about
gonna
it.
have something to say.
If you make money and you drive a beat up car, they're gonna talk about you. If you choose that, like it doesn't matter what you do, somebody's gonna always have something to say about you. I had so I went to Bora Bora last year, Bora Bora in Tahiti. And when I came back, I was talking to some people about my trip. And I was trying not to make my trip seem like it was all that, again, dimming the light. I'm dimming the light. The trip was amazing. It's a dream trip. But when I come out, I'm like, oh man, all I could think about was getting back to work, blah, 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 blah. You know what one of the people said? He ain't never satisfied. Now I'm literally dumbing my trip down so I don't make you feel insecure.
Just to not get that response.
And you still found something to say. That was one of the moments where I said, you know what?
You're just gonna do it. It is what it is, bro.
I'm gonna say what I gotta say. I'm gonna live how I want to live, and as long as it's checking out with me, those who matter the most, the man up above, I care less how you feel about me.
And that is my struggle right now, currently, with being a pastor, because I go to places I don't tell people I'm a pastor, because the first thing they put on me is that I'm taking the money. That is the image of a pastor. Take money, sleep with all the girls, and you living this high life. They don't know the stats that more than 70% of pastors are bivocational, meaning they're a full-time pastor
Got a job.
and got a full-time job.
Yep.
And most of the time, what they get paid as a pastor, they funnel it right back into the church because only 25% of your members give. So out of 200, only 50 gave. So what you get as a pastor got to make up for the other 150 because you can't go extra 25 for more.
Right.
So imagine a pastor who gets $600 a week, which ain't no money,
Right.
but who gets $600 a week, non-taxable, which means you got to pay taxes on that. And pay tithes on that.
Right.
And give offering out of that.
Right.
And give the rest of it back. Out of $600, you may walk out of that with $125 a week.
Right.
And you see this Benz I got, and you think that came from the
Yeah,
members? No, it came from these two other jobs I work.
Right.
That's why I don't tell people that, because I show one young man my bank account. Killed him. It changed his whole perspective.
Yeah.
Change his whole perspective, because you don't know the struggle. You saw Creflo Dollar, and you saw, yes, there are some who out there scheming and scamming.
Right.
I'll be the first to tell you.
Right.
Yes, there are some.
Right.
But the average
Right.
is
I agree with
living a hard life,
that.
bro.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
At one point, at another church I was at, the janitor made more than me.
Yeah. That's tough.
The janitor made more than me. And I wasn't, but that just taught me, at some point, you just got to say, forget it. I got this car because I want it.
Yep.
If I'm broke, they're going to say your members ain't take care of you. If you're rich, they're going to say you got it from the members. If you live in a big house, they're going to say you fleecing the flock. You live in a poor house, they're going to say your members don't love you.
Yep.
I'm messed up regardless. I'm single, they're going to say you sleep with all those single members. I'm married, they're going to say you cheating on your wife. I'm messed up regardless, bro.
Yep.
So I might as well just go and be who I am. I know what I'm doing, and if I'm doing anything wrong, God gonna expose it.
That's the life.
God gonna hold me accountable.
That's the life. People.
But if I'm not, give me some kind of credit though.
You think you more than other people? I done heard it all, man. I done heard it all, man. People say you think you're more than them because you don't do the things you did when you was in your 20s, as though you're not supposed to change and evolve.
Not supposed
you know
to
what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. So, all right, we almost done, bro.
For sure.
So we've done biggest failure, biggest success. Basketball, man. What was when I saw you post that you got your jersey retired.
So I wasn't gonna correct you earlier, but I didn't get my jersey retired because I don't want to. I got inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Oh,
yeah. So I got inducted into the school athletic Hall of Fame.
I got you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you corrected me because I don't want to put that out there.
That's all right.
But that's still a big deal, though.
For sure.
They ain't putting no slouch in the Hall of Fame.
No.
So who was Elvin Taylor, the basketball player? How many points you was dropping off a game? I looked it up, but let the people know.
I used to get busy, man. I think the biggest thing about me in basketball was it taught me so much. The resiliency, the teamwork, the competitiveness, all those things came from basketball. My sophomore year, my favorite year of high school was probably my sophomore year. That was the year that I kind of broke out as it pertained to basketball. My first full year of varsity. I was one of the leading scorers in the city of Memphis. I was well on my way to a top D1 program. And then right after my 10th grade year, I blew my knee out. So I sat out pretty much my whole junior year, and then I came back my senior year. Now, I came back my senior year and led the city in scoring my senior year. I beat out Mark Gasol. So Pau Gasol was playing for the Grizzlies at the time before Mark. When Mark was in high school, and he brought Mark over. Mark was playing at Lausanne, and I ended up beating him out to lead the city in scoring that year. But I wasn't the same player anymore. That year I averaged about 25, but I was limping around, barely getting around. People don't, and this is the thing, people don't know what they don't see behind the scenes. I used to limp around school all week in practice, etc. I popped them ibuprofen when game time come, and it was on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but I wasn't the same player anymore, and obviously that kind of killed my D1 hopes and all the other stuff. But it put life into perspective for me a lot sooner, and that's why I tell a lot of kids that are athletes, man, that ball, at some point it's gonna stop bouncing. Even if you Allen Iverson, it's gonna stop bouncing at some point. You need to get it up here, because this, unless you come down with some unfortunate illness or something like Alzheimer's or something like that, this is gonna always be there. And so you want to make sure that this is sharp. I told my daughter this just yesterday, talking about her, her teamwork, if you will, at work, and her learning how to deal with people and the way that people operate and stuff like that. And she wants to be tough. And I said, baby girl, listen, your strongest muscle is your mind. I don't care how physically imposing you think you are or you want to be. So the one thing you need to always do is be smarter than you are tough. Because if you're smarter than you are tough, then you're going to know when to walk away. And so I say all that to say, being in, having to deal with that as an athlete taught me early on that I couldn't depend on that ball bouncing. But man, I used to get busy though. I'm so competitive.
Do you ever look at the TV watching these and be like, man, that could have been me?
Yeah, man. But I wouldn't. I wasn't. I don't think I was good enough to play in the NBA because I ain't had a height or my skill set. My skill set was.
But you averaging 20-something in high school,
yeah,
man.
for sure. But
and you beat out Marcus Hall.
Pau Gasol. I mean Marcus Hall. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
But when I say skill set, I mean this, right? Being 5'10", 5'11", playing shooting guard. I played a lot of shooting guard. I wasn't a set it up point guard. I could handle, I could shoot, but it was more like I'm gonna get the buckets. I wasn't setting the floor up. Whereas most guys that was my height that went on to play, they were your prototypical point guard. So I think about a guy like I used to call myself a poor man T-head. It's called myself a poor man T-head. Like that was one thing. Like like even when I talk to people about him, I'm like, man, T-head the best shooter I've ever seen come out of Memphis. Best shooter. One of the best scorers, got busy. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody know T-head, like 83 points. But it's just, I had a similar skill set to him to where we really were two guards in a one guard body.
I got you.
So yeah.
I think Snap was the best to ever come out of Memphis, in my opinion. Other than Penny.
Okay, I was gonna say other than Penny. Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Other than Penny.
Snap.
I ain't seen nobody who lit the shit up like Snap in a while.
Snap's serious, man.
He was serious.
Yeah, he was serious. Joe Jackson, though. Joe Jackson.
I don't think he lit the city up like Snap, man. In the 90s, bro.
Just that nostalgia.
We ain't had no we ain't had no social media
Yep.
to pack a gym out off word of mouth, man.
Yeah, that was different.
It's just something different about that, bro.
It
To
was.
pack a
That
gym
whole-
out word of mouth, no
whole
cell
era.
phones. It's all memory, man.
Organic.
It's all organic, man.
that's love.
Snap was packing out gyms, man.
What high school did you go to?
Man, I went to White Haven, but I started off at Hillcrest.
Okay.
And when a Tresvant played Hillcrest, man, Snap put up 40, man.
Yep. He was a
Put up, man, had the
he was
gym.
a walking
leader.
triple double.
Man, yes,
Yeah,
sir.
he was a walking triple double.
Yeah, I grew up in his granddaddy's church.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That's why I'm very familiar with
I
it.
love Snap, man.
Yeah, that's what's up, bro. So as we get ready to close this out, man, I usually ask the guests to look into the camera and give some final words of motivation. And now's your time to shine, bro. I appreciate you.
Nah, I appreciate you, man. Before I do that, man, I just want to say thank you again. Like I said before, I know you put a lot of time, a lot of effort, energy into this. And so it's amazing. Like I said, when I came in, man, you got a great setup. And this is what, your 7th episode?
7th episode, yeah.
I know it's going to be much better by the time you get to 20. And so
Sure.
so I'm appreciative you having me. I appreciate it.
For sure.
For everybody out there, I appreciate y'all for just taking the time to check this out. If I can give any words of motivation, it's stay true. Stay true. And what I mean by that, whatever your journey is, stay true to it, right? If you ever get off the beaten path, understand that, your truth is at your core and come back to your truth, right? Stay resilient. I think one of the main things that most people don't pay enough attention to when it comes to being successful is mental fortitude, right? It's very, very important that you practice mental fortitude, overcoming obstacles. Life is not going to be easy. Life is not going to be perfect, but that doesn't mean that you still can't be successful. Salute.
That's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. Elvin Taylor of not just 1, 2, or 3. Well, just let me say that again. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Elvin Taylor of not only 1 or 2, but 3 State Farm agencies. Motivator, speaker, inspirator, everything, man. Listen, bro. This is probably the most impactful in terms of just me listening to you and your principles and how you got to where you are. It ain't just glitz and glam, bro. And even when it comes to the homework piece about not doing anything until you handle that business, I've been on my girls about that. Stop coming home, picking up that phone. Get the business. You confirming it, man, that they don't like that now, but it's going to pay off after a while, man.
Yep, it will.
And so I think people seeing this is going to be able to look at you and say, this is a different side of him that he may not put on social media,
Right.
that is behind the scenes. So you exposing those parts about you, bro, I think it's going to help people to see a different side of you. And that's the reason why we do this as well, not just to highlight your success, but you as a person.
The journey.
Your journey, you as a human being. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you, bro.
I appreciate you, bro.
We good?
Love, man.
Yes, sir. I enjoyed it, bro.
Appreciate you.
For sure. All right, that's a wrap for the Y'all Ain't Praying podcast. I'm your host, Pastor Christopher Broom. Listen, we're going to have to get him back in here once we get past episode 20 and get, and things of that nature. But listen, thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate it. And we'll see you soon on the next episode of the Y'all Ain't Praying.